Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Drew, and today I want to show you how I embroider on these stuffed animals with my brother PE770. So since I'm using a flatbed, it is a little tricky to get these big bulky things under our needles. So I want to show you an easy way, well I think it's an easy way, of how I do this and how I set it up. So let's get our stuff together and let's get started. Today you are going to need your 4x4 hoop, and I've already got mine hooped with some tearaway stabilizer, pins, your animal of choice. I've got an elephant, and you're going to need some basting spray. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to take you over here to the machine and I'm going to show you how I set this up. All right, I already have my design loaded up into my machine. And the first thing that it's going to stitch out is going to be a basting stitch. And it's going to be a square around where my design is going to be. And it's probably not going to, the thread's probably not going to stick in it, but I will have some perforations in it. And I'll show you that after it stitches here. Okay, so my thread didn't stay in there. I'll get this off here. But I do have, if you can see it, I have a border here. So I know my design is going to fit inside this border. So we're going to take it over here and I'm going to show you how I put the elephant ear on here and how I maneuver this on this tiny flatbed machine here. Alright, so I know that my design is going to fit in this square that I showed you a minute ago. And I know that it is going, this is the top of my design and this is the bottom of my design. So I want my stuffed animal where the body is going to be hanging out the left side of the machine. So I'm not trying to squish it under the inside where it's closed off. So I'm going to spray this with some basting spray. Okay. And so I'm putting him on here so that I know that he is going to be facing out the open end of my machine. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball how I want it on here. And then I'm going to take pins and I'm going to pin all the way around to make sure that I'm not getting inside that border so the needle doesn't hit it. If it looks like the needle is going to hit it while I'm over there stitching, then I'll stop the machine and pull it out and rearrange things. So we're going to go ahead and pin that down. All right, we got him all pinned to the hoop here. And one thing I did forget to tell y'all is that you do want to use water-soluble stabilizer on this because it is so fluffy. This is going to really help so that you can see the design. If you don't use it, you'll be able to see the design, but it won't pop like it will if you use this water-soluble stabilizer. So don't forget that when you're doing this. Okay, we're going to take it over to the machine and I'm going to show you how I wrestle with this thing under my machine. Okay, he's on here. You have to kind of smush him on there, but here, I'll try to show you. So when it starts stitching, you are going to have to mush his head under and just kind of follow it. I'll show you how I do it here in just a second, but I just wanted to show you that you can get it on here, but you do have to have the body on this side of the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and start this and show you kind of how I smush him around to get this to go, okay? I'm just kind of pushing to the side here, just so it doesn't get kind of scrambled up there, and pull on it. So if you just kind of give it a little push, it'll be okay. Again, I'm pushing to the side. I'm not pushing down on my embroidery arm. I'm just kind of stuffing his head a little bit under here so that it can move okay. Because it's right on the edge. And the hardest one's probably going to be where I'm going to put the number here. So just going to show y'all how I was doing this. So this next part is probably going to be your hardest part, which I have to say this was a little bit of a struggle for me. My thread broke. But because it is so close to his head, and you can already see it's like stretching right there, so you're really going to have to kind of mush and use a pair of scissors or a chopstick or whatever you have to kind of hold it down while it stitches this. And this stuff right here, the sewer's aid, is going to be your best friend for these kind of projects because of that sticky stuff that we put down, that basting spray. So what I like to do is, I don't know if you can see my threads right here. I just like to put just the smallest little drop, smear it on there. And then as it runs, it's going to go through there and it's going to make it run so much smoother. So if you don't have this, definitely get you some. This stuff lasts forever because you only need some here and there. So I'm going to attempt to show you how we're going to do this so close to his head. And you also want to make sure it doesn't get tangled up in this water-soluble stabilizer too, because that will get it all wrapped around your needle. So after it finishes stitching out, you're going to take all your pins out and peel this off and clean up any stray threads you have. I did have a little incident with the 8 because it's so far over to the corner. See if you can see it. The threads didn't go all the way through, but you can come over to the back and kind of pull at some of these, and you can figure out which one it is, and it'll pull it through there. And then if you have some Fray Check, I think I got some right here, some Fray Check, you can just put it on the back here, and it'll hold it and it'll be fine. So don't panic if you have like a little loop or something. It's not the end of the world. You didn't ruin your whole project. But yeah, so we're going to take all this off and clean up the back here and take all this off, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, we got him all cleaned up here. Here's the front, and this is what the back's going to look like. If you want to be very ambitious and undo the stitches on the ear and embroider it and then stitch it back together, you can do that, but that is just too much work for me. I've done it before and it didn't look right when I stitched it back together, so I just do it like this. It's not that big of a deal having it on the back like that. So anyways, on to the next ear. We're going to do a monogram on the next ear. I've already got my tearaway hooped, and I've already got my basting stitch, if you can see, already on there. So this one, you want to flip your design upside down because you are going to put him on the machine like this so that his body is hanging out the side. So if you forget to flip that in your software, it's going to be upside down on your elephant ear or whatever you're embroidering if you put it on like this. So I was just going to let you know that right now. And I think I showed you in one video how I put this on there, but I use Sew Up Pro, and under Tools in Sew Up Pro, you click on that, it'll bring down a menu, and you'll see Basting Stitch. If you just click on that, it'll put that box around it, and that will stitch first so that you can see where your design's going to go. But same as last time, you're going to spray it, stick it, pin it, put some water-soluble stabilizer on there, and then we'll take it to the machine. Okay, just to show you, see, he is on the hoop and he is upside down. And if you can see my screen there, my letters are upside down, so it should stitch right on there. And I did turn my hoop upside down when I hooped this, so that I could make sure I was getting everything straight as I could. So just a little tip there, turn it upside down and hoop it upside down. All right. The first two, I'm doing a stacked monogram, so it's going to be letter, letter, and then a big letter. So the first two is going to be easy peasy. It's going to be this big last letter that you're really probably going to have to kind of stuff his head and under there and just kind of finagle it, but it is possible. So I just wanted to show y'all that it is possible to stuff these under these flatbed machines. So that side went way smoother than the other side. And we're just going to repeat the process of taking all your pins out, taking your water-soluble stabilizer off, cleaning up any threads you might have on the front and the back, and peeling the tearaway stabilizer off. And I had a few strings on this one too that popped up, and I forgot I had this, but this thing is called a Snag Nab It. It works wonders for those. So one end is, if I can get it on here, is a sharp needle, and the other is kind of bumpy. So let's see if I can get it on the camera here. All right, so this is looped up here. So if I take it and stick it through the pointy end where that loop is and bring it through, see, it pulled it through. So I just wanted to show you that. That's very, very handy. You can get you one of these for stuff like that, instead of trying to sit there and hunt which string on here is going to do it. So yeah, very handy. Okay, and after you get everything cleaned up, you should have a beautifully embroidered stuffed animal, which mine's an elephant. And like I said, if the back is going to bother you, that you can see the stitching, you can always undo it, stitch it, and sew it back up. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that you can do it on your flatbed embroidery machine, even the little PE770. So I hope this helped anyone if you had any questions about it. That was a little tricky, but you did a great job, and you should have a beautiful finished stuffed animal. I hope that helped y'all some, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.